Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're going to dig into a pretty radical vision for world peace. It's a vision that doesn't start with governments or armies, but, well, in a place a lot closer to home. So let's jump right in with the core idea from our source text. The whole argument is that real, lasting global peace isn't made on some battlefield. It's grown and nurtured right inside the family. Now, that's a pretty bold claim, right? So let's unpack the thinking behind it. To really get what this philosophy is all about, we've got to start with the problem it's trying to solve. And the text begins with a really stark diagnosis of society, based on what the author saw when they first came to America back in the early 70s. What's being described here is a country in, well, deep confusion. The text points to this shift away from traditional sexual morality as the main engine driving a much bigger crisis in society, one that was affecting everything from personal happiness all the way to social stability. And you can see how the text draws a direct line from this perceived loss of sexual purity to all these other social problems. The thinking is, hey, these aren't a bunch of different issues. They're all just symptoms of one single root cause, a moral crisis that's leading to the breakdown of the family itself. So, who's to blame for all this? Well, the text points its finger at the adults, the parents, the leaders, even the clergy, who just couldn't guide the younger generation. And this analogy of the crab is really powerful, isn't it? It perfectly illustrates this belief that you just can't teach what you don't practice. If the older generation wasn't living these principles, how on earth could they expect their kids to? Okay, so we've seen the diagnosis of the problem. What's the cure? Well, the text lays out a very clear solution. And it all starts with a specific blueprint for what it calls an ideal marriage, built around 4 core promises. And here you have it, the foundation for this entire worldview. These aren't just, sweet romantic vows. According to this text, these 4 promises are the literal pillars for building a peaceful society. It all begins with that absolute trust and love between 2 partners, and a promise to never, ever hurt each other. That internal strength then makes the last 2 promises possible, teaching your kids about sexual purity and actively working to build an ideal family that can be a model for everyone else. Chastity before marriage and fidelity within it. Those are the absolute cornerstones. So, marriage here, it's way, way more than just a personal contract or a piece of paper. It's defined as this sacred duty, the main way we carry on God's work of creation. From this point of view, the family isn't just another social unit. It's the central place where God's kingdom of heaven can actually be built, right here on earth. Now, all 4 of these promises are presented as vital, of course, but the text really zooms in on that third one, the duty of parents to teach their children about sexual purity. So let's dig into why this is seen as so incredibly important, especially in what the text calls a worsening world. And this big focus on purity, of course, brings up a critical question, one that the text takes on directly. In a world where young people are often told to explore their feelings, this philosophy is asking, why is it actually dangerous for teenagers to get involved in romantic love? To explain this, the text uses this really striking analogy. It says that giving love to an adolescent is like handing a sharp knife to a small child. You see, both of them might understand the basic function of what they're holding, but neither one has the wisdom, the maturity, or the self-control to handle it without causing some serious harm to themselves and to other people. They just don't get the full consequences yet. So the bottom line here is that love isn't just some random feeling you can indulge whenever you want. It's described as this sacred process of growing up, a way of becoming more like God. And these doors of love, as the text calls them, they're designed to open only when the time is right. You're not supposed to force them open early. All right, let's bring this all full circle and connect it back to the very beginning. We're going to trace the ripple effect that this philosophy says goes from the choices made in one single family all the way out to the rest of the world. And the text lays out this chain of events as pretty much inevitable. It's a really stark warning. It all starts with that failure to teach in the home, and then it just cascades outward, leading, in this view, to the literal destruction of humanity. It's a direct cause and effect relationship where the family is the very first domino to fall. So let's just flip that whole logic on its head for a second. This leaves us with a central and, I think, pretty provocative question that this whole philosophy is asking. If the breakdown of the family can destroy the world, can the creation of a true ideal family, one built on these promises, be the very thing that saves it? It's a fascinating thought to end on. Thanks for joining us for this explainer.